to Bit Nerds, everyone, your daily nerd on the most interesting car of the day from all the automotive enthusiast auction sites. Lane Skelton joining us from DWA. How about that? We got a celebrity in the house. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up, Lane?
Hi guys, how are you? No autographs right now.
It's like, am I done with my obligation? Can I go now? How many of these things were we doing? Jeez Louise.
Sorry for my four bad guesses this week.
Oh, man, I think you're going to wind up
apologize.
cleaning up as my guess. I think you're going to win them all because I'm just totally bearish. Deeb thinks everything's still worth all the money in the world, and you're the only person that is actually grounded in any sense of reality. So it's nice to have a third nerd that's not an idiot. All right, guys. What we do on this channel is we find the most interesting car of the day from all the automotive enthusiast auction sites. We have a conversation about that car. We make a prediction as to what's going to happen with that car's auction, and then we, boom, go into the future and we find out. So we will reveal what happens with this car's auction at the end of this episode. But today's most interesting car of the day is on a relatively new platform that's doing pretty well. It's on Marqued. What do we got here, Michael Deeb? Check this pretty thing out.
Isn't that a looking car? As the owner of a 1974 Porsche 914 2-liter, anytime I see one, it's like you just got to stop and check it out and take a closer look. So Marqued finally has a Porsche on their platform. They're brand agnostic, and so they sell a lot of different cars. But this little Bahia red gem looked really nice. Offered out of Eldersburg, Maryland, with an older repaint, the correct motors, the addition of Weber carburetors. I thought there was a lot to love. $7,800 in recent receipts for a variety of tune-up parts and some gaskets and some seals to make sure everything kind of clicks and shuts and goes as it should. I like the red combination. I like the wheels, JP. In the listing, they call them Fuchs. Do Fuchs actually make that particular wheel?
That is correct, sir.
And are those called gas burners, or am I confusing that with another?
Those are not gas burners.
Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. So I'm new to the Teener thing. I love the corduroy seats, though, by the way. I think those are really cool. Anyway, the car's doing really well. I don't want to go too far ahead, but the car's already got 7 bids, and it closes in just about a day, but there's already some love for this car on the thing. So I just thought, we've covered a couple of cars on Marqued, and we've been surprised both times. I thought this was another one where somebody spent the money to bring it to market. They obviously put it in a studio lane. I'm sure you appreciate the fact that they at least tried with those photos.
Yeah.
And so I just thought this might be, an interesting little car to watch, particular since it's on Porsche's platform. So Lane, I know you might be in the market for a 914. I know you like a little bit more horsepower, but have you previously owned a 914, and would you ever own a 4-banger?
I have. My family has owned about 20 914s, I would say.
Oh, well, then you're more of a 914 expert than Matt Weitzel is. Awesome.
I had my first 914 when I was 16, I believe.
Oh, my God. All right, cool.
And I owned that one for 7 years. So, yeah, I know quite a bit about them. I could tell you that. So you said this is a 73 or 74, right?
74 2-liter, yeah. They look like
74,
painted,
It doesn't have the appearance package. Those are fake Fuchs. Those are not real wheels.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you that right off the bat. They're a little too squared off. They kind of look wrong. If you just look at them, they're like, those look wrong. It has painted bumpers, which is that's a no-go. It also has rusty bumper. The bumper tops are all rusted out. So it has some, and you can see it had bumperettes because it's 74, and they put little carriage bolts in.
Yeah.
You can't see it in that picture. It's on the inside of the grills. But anyways, you can see a lot of the alignment of the headlights is pretty far gone. The headlights and the little pieces. But looks like it's a 914. I just don't know. It definitely looks like it. It's not the 914 I would be in the market for. I'll tell you that. And Weber's is a big really it's kind of like they couldn't get it running with the fuel injection, so they threw carbs on it basically, and it'll never run right. Basically, it probably runs like crap. So there's a lot wrong with this car. I'll just tell you
Oh
that.
my goodness, awesome. Okay, JP, where are you at on this thing?
Yeah,
I love
man.
that you guys can see stuff I can't see. That
The
just got me.
photos really are quite well flattering in a way that the car is not that nice. I mean, the studio photos really did turn out great, and I'm not a red hater, but a little extra red. Goes a long way and can immediately wind up in way too much territory. So painting these front bumpers are supposed to be, like
Chrome.
basically chrome, mirrored finish, right?
Yeah.
Black
you can see
or chrome?
you can see the drips down on the bottom of some of the fenders. It always bugs me when I see a Porsche crest on the front of a 914. Those aren't supposed to be there. It doesn't look wrong, but it's not supposed to be there. It also always bugs me when you see you've got the gold script logo on the back deck lid. But then on the rear, it's got the silver, 2-liter thing on it. It just bugs the 914 2-liter. That should be gold if you're going to do gold up here. Pick a theme and go with it. It's just a lot of goofiness. If this car were really inexpensive, it wouldn't take much to just, swap those bumpers out with something that looked right. The funky aftermarket Fuke wannabe wheels don't bug me that much. Again, if it were an inexpensive entry into the 914 world, I would be concerned about the drivability of this car because of, those carbs are always touchy at best, but they look cool, and I can't seem to find any interior pics. Okay, here we go. How's the dash? Interior looks pretty nice. I'm with Deeb on the corduroy there. That looks kind of cool.
I like the corduroys.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of lipstick on a pig to me, though. It's just the body. Like, who knows what hides behind that paint? How's the hell hole? How's the battery tray? I mean, there's so many things with 914s you really have to be careful with.
Yeah.
And 914 guys are the biggest nerds ever. Like, they will pick this thing apart.
Yeah.
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 Crazy. Definitely a car you'd want to see before you bought, though, right?
Yes.
Not just see, but really, really get in there. And
it's painted black in there. That's all supposed to be body colored inside the trunks. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of mystery happening here. I'm trying to see if there are any photos underneath in that hellhole. Well, Michael Deeb, do you got a sense of what you think this thing will sell for? You just bought a 914 recently.
Yeah, I did actually. Mine is very different than this, so it's really not fair to compare. The only thing
much
they share in
nicer
common is the year. But our 1974 914 2-liter out of Eldersburg, Maryland, on the Marqued platform, believe it or not, guys, are you sitting down? Is already up to $18,914 on 7 bids. So I did this once earlier today. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to
Deep. Hold on, Deep. Has the engine been rebuilt, or did they do one of those ice treatments or something like that? This engine, the dry ice treatment. This engine looks remarkably clean, and those look like new heat exchangers and stuff. Is there any mention of a new engine in there?
Well, no, but there's mention of $7,800 in services in preparation for this. So, valve adjustment, oil and filter. Weber carbs, heat exchangers, the Fuchs replica wheels. Now I'm reading replica, so that's my bad. I didn't see it earlier. They did the target top seals, the window seals, a few other rubber seals and gaskets, target top storage components, and sun visors, and a dash pad. But it doesn't say anything about a motor rebuild or a new motor.
And no mention of the hellhole at all.
No.
Ah, man, that's one of those areas. It's like not mentioning the IMS at all in a 996 ad.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, gosh, guys, that's the first question everyone's going to ask, and it's not mentioned. What are you hiding there?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, our car is already up to $18,914 on 7 bids. I think it's still going to go a little bit higher than this because it's going to close in about 24 hours. So I'm going to say $22,000. Lane, where are you at?
I think you're good at 22. I think in reality, like, I wouldn't pay more than 12 for a car in this condition, like this car, even though 2-liter 73 so best years, side shift transmission and everything. I'm gonna say, I think you're right on though. I'm gonna say 21.9 just to go under you.
Got it. And JP, what do you think?
Yeah, Marked to me as a platform is starting to look like it's a website that's able to find the mark. I mean, you're getting duped if you spend $20,000 on this car. You're just dumb. This is a bad investment. $18,000 is way too much, and some people are falling for some pretty pictures. I'm with you, but I think it's going to work. And this is a testament to something that we say all the time on this show: photos sell cars. They bring the big money. I'll go over both of you guys. I'll say 23. I think we're all kind of in that. I just can't believe it's at 18. So I'm going to go over just because I think there's some people that are getting caught up in this mess, and it's a mess.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Are we on the mark? Are we way off? Is this car going to hit $30,000 more? Would you pay that much for this car? Now's the time to put your bid in the comments below to see if you guys are better at this than the nerds and our special guest, Lane Skelton. Again, Lane, thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. It's been great to have you. Anything else you want to plug before we wrap it up for the week?
Awesome podcast, the Integrity Podcast Network. Check us out on YouTube and iTunes, everywhere else you can find podcasts, and then find a Radwood show near you.
Hey, Lane, the Coastal Range Rally is sold out, but do Patreon members still get is there maybe one more spot available?
Definitely. I have a phone number, and you can text me stuff, and I can yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, Michael Deeb knows people. All right, guys, there it is. We will find out how much this 914 sells for right after this. Hey guys, I'm super excited to tell you about our sponsor, Guys Customs. That's Guys, Gyx _customs. That's how you spell it. Guys Customs bracelets. These things are amazing. Check them out. They're handmade in America, custom bracelets made to match your watch or your car. These things are unbelievable. I have 3 or 4 of them myself. My partner Michael Deeb has a bunch of them. They're pretty addictive once you get one. Each one of them are bespoke. We're talking carbon fiber. We're talking titanium. We're talking stainless steel, glass. There's none of this cheap Chinese garbage that you see a lot of bracelets being made out there. These ones are super high quality. They're made right here in America. When you go to Guys Customs on Instagram, it's about the only place that you can order one of these. When you DM the artist, you're actually reaching the real artist when you DM Guys Customs at Instagram. And she will make you a bracelet made to match that special watch, that special car, or that special person that has a special watch or a special car and they want something really, really cool in their life. They make the most amazing gifts. I get compliments on mine all the time. Everywhere I go, people are like, wow, that's really cool. You can see in the pictures, these beads, the colored beads are PTS. They're paint to sample. So if you have a specific color code for your car, she'll have beads made that are specifically painted to match your car or your watch. It's unbelievable. You got to get one of these Guys Customs bracelets. Check them out. They support us, and we really, really, really want to support them. Guys Customs bracelets. All right, let's get back to the bids. Let's find out how much that car sold for today. Welcome back to Bid Nerds, everyone. You're in the future. We have traveled in our future DeLorean machine to find out the results on this Porsche 914. Lane has left us. He is not hanging out with us in the future. He has better things to do, and who wouldn't really than hanging out with us two yahoos.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lane Skelton has left the building.
He has, to his credit and credibility. Thanks, Lane, for lending your opinion on the show and making us look bad. That's something we are pretty good at doing on our own. Okay, so what happened with this 914, Michael Deeb? Real quick rundown on what it is, and let's get to the bids.
Yeah, the 1974 914 2-liter is on Mark. I have to say, I enjoyed listening to Lane view the images of this car while we were live on the show because I don't have 914 experience. I don't have 914 eyes. as he kind of wandered around this car and picked apart the parts that were original, the parts that were modified. I can do that with some old 911s, but I certainly can't do that with 914. So that was kind of a treat for me. As he picked the car apart, I started to realize that just because it's a shiny red color and some nice studio photos, this might not be a great example. So we wondered if Mark's audience would also feel the same. And perhaps that is what came true. I turned out to be Lane Skelton was the low bidder on this one. He said $21,900. I came in at $22,000, and JP was the high bidder at $23,000, and you won because Mark sold this car for $25,000 on 14 bids. Now, that's only a couple of grand above your bid, but do you think that the new owner of this car, when he gets it home and goes over it with a mechanic, do you think he's going to be pleased with his purchase at that price, considering how you and Lane both saw that this might not be a great 914 for the money?
The idiot that paid 25 grand for this thing was the Mark, and he is not going to have it looked over by his mechanic. He's dumb enough to think he fell for the shiny lipstick on the pig. I'm not going to go as far as saying this car is a roach, but it is not a $25,000 914. There's, as we, Lane and I talked about before the break, there's so much wrong with this car. And, I guess Marked is doing a good job at finding, the fools with their money. I am shocked by this result. My bid was high only because I suspected that people would fall for the shiny marketing. And boy, I'm sad that I was right. This is one of those I would much rather have been wrong. This car does not deserve. I'm sorry for whoever bought this thing. You're an idiot. I mean, just straight up, you're not smart. Deeb, now you own a 914 now. You're a new 914 owner. So you've learned a thing or two about them just recently. How does this car make you feel looking at the photos and looking at these results?
Well, it's just a bummer because we could pick apart this car for lacking some original features and the way it was sort of put together. Lane was quick to point out a lot of the ripples in the front bodywork and how the headlights, the closures didn't match up, that it was already sagging. And that, when we start talking about a sports car, a vintage sports car that's lacking in integrity, and I'm not talking about the seller's integrity from a moral standpoint, I'm talking about the physical structure of the car. The thing that sold me on my car was that it's a dry car. It's a 914 with no rust. So I felt like all the money that was put into the car to build it and make it a fun, driver's car, it had a good foundation from which to begin on. And that could not have bore out any better, because when I drive my car, it gives me a lot of confidence. But as I, listen to you and Lane go over this car and Lane started to pick it apart, it's like, holy God, I agree. I forgive the buyer for being naive and sort of, looking at the photos and thinking it's a beautiful car and trusting the platform that is new. But you got to do your due diligence. And my guess is that price does not reflect an informed buyer's decision. And that's a bummer.
Yeah, 914s are one of those cars that are particularly difficult to buy sight unseen. Because there are a lot of 914 idiosyncrasies, for lack of a better way to put it. The way they shift, the hellhole. There's so many goofy little traits to these cars that you really got to get in one and drive it and understand, really what you're getting into. Unlike, say, like an 87 911, if it's well kept, you can pretty much be assured if you've ever driven one, if you've got experience with one of those cars, you know what you're getting into when you buy it sight unseen. Every one of these is different, these 914s. There's no two that are the same. And I guess you could say that on any classic car, but I think 914s more than any. Unless the seller has a stellar reputation and they can tell you, with certainty, this is a good car, and go over all of those those traits and say, oh yeah, that particular thing has been dealt with, that particular thing has been dealt with, and you trust the authority of that person or the credibility, then okay, that makes sense. But this car, I just, and I liked Marqued as a platform, but let's face it, they're new. They don't have a lot of authority yet. They haven't really built a ton of credibility, even though they've gotten some great results. I think from a seller's point of view, they're building a lot of credibility, but from a buyer's point of view, I've seen some stuff on there that really didn't deserve the money that they've gotten for it. So what do you guys think of the results of this 914? Did the buyer overpay? Do you think I'm just a jerk? And, well, I mean, let's face it, I am a jerk. That has nothing to do with anything. Do you think that this car was well bought? Do you think it was worth the money? We'd sure like to find out what you guys think in the comments below. Hey, while you're at it, share this episode or one of your favorite episodes. And also check out our recent special episode that we did with Clint Russell on the overall market. Yeah, it was kind of a special show that we did last weekend or the weekend before. So that's an episode that you definitely want to see, and we'd love to get your opinion on that episode as well. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks for hitting the subscribe, like, and notification button. What do you got to say, Michael Deeb?
Quite a week, JP. You won 4 out of the 5. My lone bright spot was that BMW 5 Series. But technically, Lane Skelton got 2.5 of these things. I don't think we should ever have him back on the show.
I'm inclined to agree. I think what should happen, Lane Skelton, if you're watching, you need to have Michael Deeb on your show on the Driving While Awesome podcast, and you and Warren need to rough him up a little bit. I'm just saying. The nerd herd wants to see it. Make it happen, guys. You people make it happen. See you tomorrow.